Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Happy Friday. Hope you had a good week. I had an okay week, in case you're asking. Anyway, I'm at this tree here, uh, which was, you see this face? If you follow my Instagram, you might recognize this. I think there's also a face kind of over here. There's the eye. Maybe more of like an animal. But in case you're wondering, the tree cutting. They cut right there. And they cut right there. That was already cut. So I'm convinced it's for to honor, or at least to honor the convenience for the neighbors. Call me schizophrenic, but that's what I'm convinced of. As I'm standing over here looking at this, it's got the same stuff, except I think they added a dish. two new additions, but or the fence, 3 new additions, but other than that, everything's like still the same stuff. So anyway, tree cutting fiasco. I don't like it. Like I said, call me schizophrenic, but I'm convinced it's more for the neighbors than anything that my mom has chosen to do and spend her good-earned teacher retirement money on. So anyway, happy Friday. Thought I'd go ahead and get that out of the way, give it the due attention. As far as the satellite dish, I don't think they put it in the right spot, but anyway. They might have a Spectrum. It's just a joke, nothing against Spectrum. Anyway, how's it going? I know it's Friday. I think the last chit chat video, YouTube video I made was about the Epstein files, which was quite a while ago. Was it Tuesday, Wednesday last week? I haven't gotten much further on that than I would have liked to have. And that's just me imposing a personal deadlines for y'all, and so I can have stuff to say for y'all, with y'all. But yeah, kind of missed a personal deadline that I set. But other than that, I do have a little bit to say about it. Not about Epstein, but kind of just about human trafficking in general. And fun fact, if you didn't know, there's a driving safety course for Texas, state of Texas, and a part of that course, you can take different courses, but the course that I took, a part of that course, it did include human trafficking and sex trafficking and the driver safety course. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know the fun fact. I took a driving safety course because I got a speeding ticket over by the rim. I got 1 speeding ticket and a use of a cell phone ticket over here on Vance Jackson, close to Margie's, where I used to live at Margie's, over on Vance Jackson, in between, I guess closer to, what is it called? Not Lock Hill Selma, maybe Lock Hill Selma, and Marlboro. My mom paid that ticket, and then I got another 1 speeding ticket over by the rim, which, fun fact, they're now building a new hotel there. They're building tons of hotels by the rim, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so cute, so prodigious. What a nice sunrise. Anyway, uh, by where I got my speeding ticket, over by the rim, and now has turned into Hotel Haven. I'm like, who are they expecting to stay there? It must be because of the new highway. I don't know. So I'm looking around and I'm just like, they're ruining the hill country vibe. It's like depleting the more expanding in the building process by the rim. So I guess that's why they're not doing it by La Cantera. It's a little bit more high end. They're building all this new stuff over by the Rim Shopping Center. So they're certainly not going for the hill country vibe. So for any tourists who happen to be staying at these hotels, I'm not really sure why. Other than maybe they want to do some shopping at the Rim. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. The driving course, I got a speeding ticket then. Dropping Tracy off on Michael's on my way to Kimmy's. And for that speeding ticket, I opted to take the driving course. And when you do that, you pay for the driving course, which is around $25, give or take, including tax. And there might be other options like, do you want a printout, or I don't know, whatever. And it was questions and information. A little Quizlet about human trafficking and sex trafficking was a subsection, the Texas driver safety course that I took. There are several available. Anyway, so the Mann Act, man with two N's, and I'm not sure how controversial it is. When I see I looked up on Congress.gov, they have a stuff posted, reports posted from the Congressional Library Research. Anyway, so there's the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, the TVPA that I told y'all about. That was passed in 2000. Congressional legislation. But also coupled with that, included with that, also mentioned with the TVPA is the Mann Act, which is from 1910. See if I can remember this for y'all, right? It's from 1910, and I think it was originally called the White Slavery Trafficking Act, but it got changed to the Mann Act. I don't know when. There was, I think what was it? I think in 1976, maybe like 1978 and maybe 1986 or something. The language was changed to include non-gender specific. But anyway, the origins of the Mann Act may be a bit controversial, but with that being said, with that put aside, it is often listed with the TVPA that I've seen. I think CNN has like a little YouTube video. I didn't watch it, but it was on the Google when I was looking it up, and CNN might have a YouTube video about it. Made in 2025. Anyway, a pretty sunrise this morning. Kind of matches my nails. Anyway, so the origins might be a little questionable, considering the enforcement of what used to be called White Slavery Trafficking Act, which, if you didn't know, human trafficking is often referred to as modern day slavery. But the enforcement of the act, the Mann Act, under the previous name, I don't know when the name was changed. I think it was it changed after like some congressman or something like that. It said on Wikipedia. But anyway, I think it was named after somebody specific. I'm gonna be researching that at some point in time, whether I reach my own personal deadlines or not. I always try to keep y'all updated with all that. Anyway, so the enforcement might be a little controversial. I think the language might be a little controversial. Especially to note, I don't know if there was the language talked about interracial relationships, but I think at minimum the enforcement of the Mann Act of 1910 might have had that language, but there was an enforcement. There was this boxer named Jack Johnson. When was it? Like 1916 or something like that. I guess the boxer traveled and he had a white girlfriend, and he got arrested for it. And the white girlfriend she has a name, I forget her name, but he got arrested for it because she was traveling with him, and then they married soon after. So that's what it said on Wikipedia. Some of the issues there, as far as the language being used, I haven't read it, but I'm not sure if it outlawed interracial relationships or not, but that was a problem, and he was arrested, I think because of that act, the authority of that act, I don't know. But the language, I think they changed it because it used language that I guess in today, modern times, we would think that is a little bit non-specific, like non-kind of legal language and or jargon. I think debauchery was used in the Mann Act from 1910. Immoral. But it was also used to, I don't know if y'all heard of like Frank LaSalle. In 1948 he was arrested because he had kidnapped a kid, and he kidnapped a kid, and he went around in different towns impersonating as her father, and for 21 months. And tragic end to that, Frank LaSalle got arrested in 1948, and then she was 15 at 1948, and then tragic end to that story is she died in a car accident like a year later. So yeah, I think she was a single parent child. It said on Wikipedia that he told her he was an FBI agent, because which I guess is not true. So their first meeting, he impersonated an FBI agent. I think he like stalked her for like a week, and then captured her, kidnapped her a couple months later, then went on the run, and sexual abuse and stuff was going on. Frank LaSalle, 1948. I never heard of that, but it was on Wikipedia, and there's a lot of stuff on that. So I'm surprised. He kind of seemed notorious, kind of infamous, the way it was the vibe I got. So I never heard of him. I never heard of that. But anyway, so the Mann Act, unfortunate about the boxer who happened to be black with a white girlfriend getting arrested. I think that was in 1916, but I could be wrong. But fortunate in this Frank LaSalle case in 1948. Uh, yeah, so as far as the Mann Act is concerned, a lot of it, again, is this travel and commerce situation. And as far as commerce, as somebody who is kind of, a layman, green, not understanding the way people usually use these terms in legal settings or business settings. It's confusing. You're talking about human trafficking, uh, and specifically, it's a state crime, but a federal, if it has anything to deal with transport, travel, and commerce. So that part is really confusing. I'm like, why commerce? So obviously, I'm going to have to be looking more into that. But if you're wondering, it is 7:14 a.m. I forgot to tell you all the time when I started this video. Anyway, so the Mann Act, I think there's 4 sections, or three principal sections: 2421, 2422, and 2423. 2423 has A, B, C, and D. It seems a bit repetitive at some times, but again, maybe when you're dealing with that kind of stuff, it's not. The third section, 2423 of the Mann Act, often listed with the TVPA, Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000. The 2423 section of the Mann Act has a lot, is specifically with children. And as far as the punishment goes, the punishment for a lot of these things is federally. With the Mann Act, it says not less than 10 years. And when it's the children, it says not more than 30 years. And if you're wondering about the punishment, there could be a fine. So there's imprisonment, right? I believe it's a felony, but I'm not sure. I'm just assuming it's a felony because it's the federal and all that. I know each state can have felony too. I didn't know that, but it can. So unsure if it's a felony or not. I'm just assuming it is. But the punishments for these things are imprisonment, mostly not less than 10 years, and if it's a child specifically, it's not more than 30 years. There could be a fine, which is $250,000 if it's an individual, and if it's part of an organization, it's $500,000. This is the Mann Act. Originally of 1910, but it has been amended and the language has been changed, and it's still present in use with the TVPA. There could be an order to pay restitution. So the fine is $250,000 for an individual. If it's an organization, then it's $500,000, doubles. Unless you're indigent. Indigent means you can't afford it. Then it's a special assessment of up to, these are all up to, so it can be less than, up to $250,000, up to $500,000, and if you're indigent via special assessment, then it's up to $5,000. 2 more things with the punishment is you can be ordered to pay restitution to the victim. There was not a specific number of up to, no less than, for that one. And also any property, was it property? Any, I guess property, and to include like, not just land, like, I don't know, maybe this t-shirt is considered property. Good morning, Juicy. Prison, fine, restitution, and ordered to give up any property derived from or used in this crime of the Mann Act. And what is the crime? And speaking of language, I think it's very interesting. The language there is interstate and foreign, which is a lot of the section 2421, 2422, 2423. It's interstate and foreign. It's either travel, transportation, and stuff like that. There's coercion and interstate and foreign, either travel or transportation for the purposes of prostitution, which, as far as the state is concerned, I think I'm wondering again about the language. But it says for purposes of prostitution or unlawful sexual activity. So yeah, it's interstate and foreign something, whether it's travel, transportation, and then it says for the purposes of prostitution or unlawful sexual acts or activities. So I think there can be a lot of not a lot of, but I think if there's issues like maybe sex work and stuff like that. But as far as I think the language prostitution or unlawful sexual acts, unlawful sexual might be as far as the original Mann Act of 1910. We might want at first criticize, of course it's unlawful, why do you have to say unlawful each time? I think again, it's the language, and it's I don't want to say open to interpretation, but as far as a court of public opinion goes, obviously, I mean, it's the law. It's available on congress.gov. I think it's available on like the Congressional Library, I don't know, which is free and open to the public if you have access to the internet. Or the actual library, I don't know. Anyway, so it's unlawful sexual acts. I think that has a lot to, especially with sex work and stuff like that. It's this consent, right? Is this something you consented to or not? And that's what makes it unlawful. And again, I think maybe prostitution might have different meanings considering the times and stuff like that. So it's travel, transportation, and also coercion and enticing, which I think is very interesting, is the language there with the kid. 2422 and also all of 2423 sections of the Mann Act is specifically with a child, and the abuse and coercion and enticing a child. So I think that's very interesting as far as the definition of the word. Those are obviously going to look very different at first thought. What is this specific act of coercion and enticing look like for a child and for an adult? So yeah, that's basically where I got. I didn't reach my personal deadline of getting a little farther, but that is as far as I got. And what I haven't seen as far as human trafficking and sex trafficking and modern day slavery. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to add is the Mann Act of 1910, which was called White Slavery Trafficking Act. I think a lot of it also focused on maybe the intent. If I read it on Wikipedia correctly, the intent was to was also to prevent, I guess, husbands from doing that. Maybe take that for what you will. I guess they might have been addressing this. If you're a husband, and it doesn't mean that the wife has to do everything that you say. Anyway, so yeah, that was my personal research. As far as personal deadline, now that I've said it to you, I think maybe it's fine. I don't have to beat myself too much over this personal deadline imposed on myself. But what I'm really wondering about, it being 2025, is the distribution. As far as that being state and federal, I don't know. But, there's a Starlink in the middle of the ocean, is how that's advertised, right? So there's travel, transportation, coercion and enticing, and this interstate and foreign, and commerce is thrown in there too. I haven't seen anything about the distribution of unlawful sexual acts, or if distribution in and of itself is an unlawful sexual act or activity. So obviously that's something I'm interested in, and I want to do more research on. So yeah, with that being said, I know I was flipping through the channels in the afternoon, evening, flipping through the channels, the news channels. Every single one, Republican and Democrat leaning, operating. It was Epstein. So I guess the victims spoke out, and they're going to compile their own Epstein lists. Which, good. Go for it. So, but yeah. I'm going to take a sip of coffee, 1 second. Okay, so anyway, as far as the distribution, I know there's the Take It Down Act too. I don't know the language in it. I haven't done my research on it. But as far as distribution, that's the only thing that I'm aware of that kind of addresses this distribution situation. That being a millennial, is something that I'm definitely, is at the forefront. Of all that. Need I say more? I say millennial because, again, the first kids to grow up with the internet and stuff like that. So this constant distribution is not going away, right? So, yeah. Oh, I guess that's that. I'm trying to think of if I have anything more to say. I know 47's been posting a lot of, I guess what we would now call AI. I don't know why it's not called CGI. Because of the lack of the computer engineering, coding, the lack of coding involved, the lack of participated coding. You don't say CGI, you say AI. And again, this being a public figure, I think it's very interesting. Need I say more? Anyway, I realize I'm a public figure, even though every environmental and context clue demands otherwise. So that is so stupid. Okay, and I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, another day, another dollar. Happy Friday. Inching along September. Yeah, I hate being here still. I hate it. I ventured out on my running, but I'm not going to go to the library. I said that is it. I'll go running. As far as doing research, I'm not going to do research at the library anymore. I'm so over it. I know I'm a public figure. The internet knows I'm a public figure, but nobody else around me knows I'm a public figure. But call me schizophrenic. But the trees got cut to honor the neighbors. And maybe, maybe I could be wrong. So anyway, you really think my mom would say she can't spend her money on her art that she gets from her art? You really think she would say that? But in order for her to say that, she'd have to acknowledge that I'm a public figure and celebrity. It is my constant life here at 9107 Russell's Creek. Okay? Y'all ready for the end of the sunrise? There. A little cloud cover, and if you don't know, from being in San Antonio, Texas is obviously a good thing. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's what I have to say. Just basically the Mann Act. I don't really have anything other political points, topics of discussion. I'm trying to think, but I don't really have one. Okay, so I guess that's my video this morning. Thanks for chit-chatting via YouTube chit-chat. So yeah, I guess I'll talk to y'all later. I hope you had a good week. I hope you'll have a good weekend. As for me, obviously I don't want to be here. Obviously I'd rather be with my husband. Yeah. And yeah, can't wait to be together. Can't wait for people to see us together. And as far as one more point I wanted to add that I just keep thinking about every time I flip through the news is you seem to have strong opinions, and that's great. I don't want to be here telling you you can't have your opinion, but what I've been wondering, especially recently, but throughout these past 4.5 years, is what would be the issue of you sharing your opinion if me and my husband were together? 2 cars have driven by that. A soft porn car is out. Their anime is quite questionable. The sticker all over the car. In case you didn't know. But anyway, if you have a strong opinion, then I don't know what look would it be? What would be the public discussion throughout the United States and the world if me and my husband were able to be together, be seen in public together, to be together? I mean, it's tearing at the seams here. And that's from what I can see. And they keep a lot from me. Okay? So I'm just saying, wouldn't it be great for you to have your strong opinion? And this has been a constant message of mine. So this is ridiculous. Only pathetic losers do this. Not one interview, not one debate, not nothing. How much of a handicap do you need? Keeping all this information from me. Have your strong opinion. Have it while me and my husband are next to each other. And I'm supporting him while he's 47. No. Can't possibly take it. your opinion, your strong opinions would no longer be strong opinions if that were the case. If I had to be anywhere else other than this constant cars driving by, like they have a job or something. Pool net, using a lot of pool nets old stuff. Trees getting cut for why? A decision my mom made in September 2025. So you have your strong opinions, and I just want to ask this general blanket question of would they still be considered strong opinions, whether received or while you're giving them, if me and my husband were right next to each other? It's just a question I want to throw out there. On this formerly known NISD school bus route, where I'm not a celebrity and public figure, that's my life every day. Anyway, y'all have a good one.